Hello and welcome to PHP Alive and Kicking, brought to you by PHP Architect, made better by our partners Honeybadger. More about them later. This podcast explores the developments in PHP and what it's like to earn a living in PHP today. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Page, better known as Mike Page Dev. I'm a developer at PHP Architect. My co-host is a long-time contributor to the magazine and now a fellow team member, Chris Miller. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. It has occurred to me last time we did the recording that we've been saying that we're seeing each other sort of every 2 weeks, and quite often when you sort of watch John and Eric, they're kind of doing a bit of a catch up, and I'm thinking, should we be doing something like that? And then I'm remembering we're pre-recording most of these, and it was only yesterday, so there's not much of a pre-catch up. But I am going to do a bit of housekeeping. So first of all, if people don't know, we do have a Discord. You can join us in Discord. Me and Chris are generally in the Discord when these videos are going live, so you can ask questions. Sometimes the guests are there as well, so you might be able to get some questions asked then. And so that's that one. The other one, PHP Architect has now got a swag store, which is not showing my screen. Hang on, just 2 seconds. Should be that one. There we go. So we now have a merch store. Please go and visit. You can pick up all sorts of things. More things are being added, as I understand. Different designs of t-shirts and tops. Well, in fact, that's a new one. That's just come out.
Yeah. That's actually the cover from one of our magazines.
Exactly.
The Psychology of a Developer.
Yeah. That one, although I say it's new on there, it's new for us today as we're recording, but by the time this comes out, it's probably been out for a few weeks. So I'm sure there'll be more stuff on there by the time this video comes out. So do hop over there and check it out. There we go. Okay. Anything else I've missed? What else? We've done Discord. We've done the store.
Well, we do have a conference coming up.
We do have a conference coming up, PHP Tech, which, funny, I don't actually... Yes, I do have it loaded somewhere.
So PHP Tech in 2026 will be the 19th to the 21st of May in Chicago. And tickets are, as far as I'm aware, on sale now.
Yeah, tickets are on sale. Early birds as time of recording. That might still be available when this video goes out. But yeah, grab yourself tickets. It's a great conference. Very welcoming crowd of people there. I've been a couple of times now, obviously working, but I've always felt really welcome when I do go. Right, let's get on to the meat of the actual show.
Yeah,
we have a guest.
We do. It's almost like this is our plan. We have a guest. We've got Zuzana with us. She is the founder of Laravel's. Hey, Zuzana, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. So, Laravel's. This is something we're going to get into later, but I want to ask you our favorite question first. How did you get into PHP?
Right. I had to think back because I didn't mean to get into PHP. It kind of happened. So I went into development quite later in life. I mean, I don't like saying that because it makes me sound very old, but what I mean is that I'm not one of those kids that learned to code when they were 10, 12, and they just did it ever since. I had kids, so I had a totally different career. Then I had my kids, and when I had my third one, I wanted to do something from home so I can work around my kids, around my family. And web design, web development was something that kept coming up. So I did some online courses, which were just HTML, CSS, a little bit of JavaScript, But it was, I don't even know how, but I found this online boot camp. So it was an in-person boot camp somewhere in the US, but they put their lessons online. I don't know what it was called anymore. And it was, I can't really find it anymore because most of boot camps these days, they use JavaScript as their backend language. But that one was using PHP. And just by chance found it. I liked the way they styled the lessons and I liked the way they did things. So I did it and it helped because obviously WordPress, it's a big thing in the PHP world. And as somebody starting up, I went to a WordPress meetup, my local one, and WordPress works on PHP. So it was kind of all came together. So how I got into PHP via an online bootcamp. It wasn't official, it was it was just lessons online. It wasn't actual teaching. So it was the online resources and WordPress. And here we are.
So almost self-taught then, in that you followed the lessons and then broke things, which is that not just every developer ever?
I'm just thinking, I think everyone is self-taught in this industry. I mean, you might have a degree in something, but when it comes to development, I think we are all learning every day. Like you said, breaking stuff, figuring things out, trying again.
Yeah, and I guess this is part of how it led to Laravel's. And what was the story behind Laravel's?
I didn't. So when I was starting out, I was doing it all from home. It was my little bubble. The kids were little, so I couldn't really go out anyway. And when I was learning from home, I was just happy, like I said, in my little bubble. And it wasn't until I went to these local meetups when I realized that it was mainly men. And if they were in the WordPress meetup, because WordPress has got a massive community and it's not just developers, you've got a lot of SEO people and marketing design. So in WordPress meetup, there were some women there, but they were not developers. It was all about design, marketing, SEO. And when I went to a PHP meetup, local one, I don't think there was another woman, maybe one. Like it was so overwhelmingly male. And it made me wonder because, as I said, I learned this online and I never thought about like the gender of people I was talking to. I just thought, that's what I just took it as it was. So it was a shock to the system a little bit when I joined these in-person meetings and I realized that where are all the women? What's going on? Am I supposed to be doing it? Why isn't there more of us? Because as a parent, to me, this profession, this job is perfect. You can do it from anywhere. You can do it around your kids. It's like, it gives you so much flexibility. And I know not everyone has that. I know there are companies that don't allow remote work. But for me, I went into this industry with the mind that I want to be working flexibly. I want to be working from home. And as I said, I think it's a perfect job for parents, not just moms, for dads, for carers, for anyone who's got other responsibilities in life. So when I went to these meetups, I was like, where are all these people? Because to me, it was the perfect thing to do. So where are the women? And WordPress, it was better because, as I said, WordPress has got a massive community of all sorts of skills and, it's design, SEO, everything. But when I started learning Laravel, and I didn't go to Laravel meetups, so my impressions were based only on my Twitter interactions. So back then, I was mainly on Twitter. I was reading what people had to say on Twitter, and all the major players in the Laravel world were men. Like I think I was aware of two women, which was Jess Archer and Samantha Geitz. Samantha is no longer a developer as far as I know, but Jess is working at Laravel at the moment. So I knew about those two, but that was it. Like I didn't see anyone else. And it was just weird because other frameworks, they have communities for women. So there's Django girls and Pi ladies, Rails girls, like, most of the frameworks, they have communities for ladies and websites. And what helped me back then was that on those websites, especially I think the Django one, at least it was the case back then, they would have stories of these people, how they got into Django and like what was their background. And I used to read them religiously all the time because to me, I kind of was looking for validation that I'm allowed, I suppose, supposed to be doing this job. Because if you don't see anyone like you, it makes you wonder, like, should you even be doing it? Why is there nobody else like me? And specifically this Django website had stories of people that were coming from different industries and different backgrounds and different education and different ages. And I was reading those and I was like, they can do it. so can I. It kind of gave me the push that, yeah, I can make it work. And when I started learning Laravel, I was looking for a community like that, and there was none. I even asked on Twitter, and back then I didn't have any followers. Nobody knew me. I followed people, as you do, but nobody would reply to me because you get messages from all sorts of people, and most of the people don't read messages from people that are not their connections already, which is understandable. So even when I did message people asking questions, nobody would reply. And I wrote this tweet looking for a community for women in Laravel, and somebody replied saying they don't think there is one. Why don't I create one? And I was thinking, me? Like I was still very new in my journey. I was maybe 2 years into learning development. I did have a job at that point, but like I said, I didn't know anyone. I was really new to this. And I was like, who am I to create a community? Like I'm nobody. I'm not a real developer yet, regardless of what that means. Like I just thought that's not for me. That's what other people do. That's other people's job. I will just join. When this happens, I will be the first one to join. But so I didn't do anything for about a year, maybe longer. It was on the back of my mind, but I just didn't do anything about it. And then I think it was maybe a year when I talked to friends, and they just said, well, I've got this idea. I've had it for a while. What do you think about making a community for women? And they were like, do it. Just do it. No questions asked. Just do it. And it happened so quickly afterwards because I needed this push, and I didn't want to let it just, fade away. So I quickly created a one-page website. I bought a domain. Also, the initial tweet when I asked if there is a community for Laravel, ladies in Laravel or women in Laravel, that person who said there isn't one, they said, why don't you create one and call it Larabels? So the name isn't even my idea. It's somebody on Twitter suggested it. And the domain was available, so I just bought it. And I think the website went up in a few days, and then I just tweeted about it. And yeah, that's how it was. I didn't imagine it would be what it is today. I don't even know what my plan was. I just wanted to meet more people. I wanted to create a community for I wanted to meet somebody like me, like a parent or maybe older. Okay, I'm not that old, but like my age group, somebody I can relate to. So I didn't know it was going to go where it's gone. I had no idea. I just went with the flow. So yeah, that's the story of Laravel. That's how we started.
So basically, it started by not finding people that you could talk to and creating a community around it. And isn't that how every community grows at any given time? Somebody somewhere says, well, I haven't got anybody to meet with. Let's make one. And from what I've seen with different things, I mean, you've spoken at, what is it now, 3 different Laracons and varying different events?
I think so. Yeah, and Laravel, Laracon US, EU, couple of times, Laravel Live London. Yeah.
And one thing that I always hear from you all the time is diversity is important, and I absolutely agree. And just this week, the State of Laravel results have been pushed out, and that's actually highlighting the issue that we have, but also it points to the fact that things are beginning to change. So we're seeing things changing. I mean, here you can see the split between male, female, and any other gender, and you can see that the male lines are huge. The female lines are starting to creep up, and so are the other gender lines. But it's showing that work is taking place and it's changing. Now, obviously, these can be skewed results because they can just be based on who answered and who happened to be on Twitter at the time and whatever else. But you have a lot going on that's changing the look of what Laravel is like, and that carries across the community. I mean, if you look at the PHP Foundation, there's a pretty even split of male and female at the very top of the PHP Foundation, which honestly I find is amazing. And
it's really important that we have we have diversity on the top, because it kind of trickles down. If we can be talking till we're blue in the face, but if we don't see our values reflected in public positions, it will just stay talk, so it's really important that like big companies or the PHP Foundation that we do see diversity. Same with conferences, that they make an effort.
Yeah. And I don't know how many conferences I've been to, and I hate the way that it's phrased, but it's absolutely true, is a bunch of white middle-aged men. And I don't know many conferences where that isn't the mainstay of it. And I love hearing from different people from every different background, because we all bring something new to how we develop, to how we talk, even down to just simple things like our lifestyles and how we live life has an impact on who we are. And that helps with creating new ways of thinking about PHP, of thinking about development in general. And Laravel's is fast becoming recognized now as the go-to place for females in Laravel, which it's quite important to see that happening. And we, if I remember rightly, aren't we now 4 or 5 years in?
5. So we were 5 years old back in July. Yeah, I totally missed the birthday. I need to get my stuff together. Like I need to put it in the diary on the calendar. But yeah.
Just to correct Chris just slightly, I think it's quite important to bring this. It's not just for females, Laravels.
Yeah.
It's for any sort of the minority. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and share the screen at the same time, and I can't do two things at once. I can't do it. Sorry, I've tried. There we go. So it's any underrepresented due to their gender. So it's not.
So I know it's a mouthful, and it's difficult to say it in like a few words. We keep trying to change the language, but it's difficult. But you don't want to. So I don't want. We started with labels, but I kind of got rid of the labels, because if you put a label on something, that automatically means you are pushing away somebody else who doesn't identify with specific label. So now we are basically for anyone who doesn't identify as a man, and if you feel like. If you don't identify as a man, you belong. And that doesn't mean that we don't like men. Like men are our allies. Like we need you. It's just that we need a little community just for the people that might feel, sometimes left alone or left aside in a corner, like don't feel like they belong. So that's what I think it would be hard push to find a man who would say they don't feel like they belong due to their gender in the tech community. Let's put it this way. So Laravel is for the rest of us, for the rest of, and it's very difficult to make it. So yes, the heading on the website, it is a mouthful, and I keep trying, and if we've changed it over the time, and I think we're going to change it again, trying to find a way to say it that is easy and understandable, but language is failing us at the moment.
I don't know. Me personally, I think that hits nail on the head. I know it's a bit of a mouthful to say, but I off the top of my head, I can't think of any other way to trying to explain what you're trying to do within the community. Just before we go on with the conversation, I think we'll just quickly hear from our sponsor, and then we'll dive a bit deeper into what's going on.
Let me tell you a quick story about our sponsor, Honeybadger.io. One time, a customer of theirs had a background job run overnight that caused hundreds of thousands of errors to be reported to Honeybadger by mistake. Like many other error tracking and performance monitoring tools, Honeybadger bills for monthly usage, and so this customer's mistake was going to cost them a lot of extra money that month. If you've ever used a monitoring service, you might have experienced something like this. Well, fortunately for this customer, they emailed Honeybadger's support and received the most amazing reply. Honeybadger was resetting their monthly quota and canceling their bill. This is just one example of how much the small team at Honeybadger cares about their users. Ask anyone you know and you'll hear similar stories. Go check them out at honeybadger.io. It's free to get started, and setup takes less than 5 minutes. Don't forget to bookmark it. That's www.honeybadger.io.
Thank you, Honeybadger. So I'd like to say, I think, Zuzana, what you're doing is absolutely brilliant within the community. I feel slightly upset and ashamed that when you came into the community, people didn't take notice of you, they didn't help you, because that's kind of the opposite of what I have experienced when I joined the community. I'm very new within this community. I've only been a developer for about 5 years now. And I feel disappointed and ashamed, and ashamed might be a bit of a strong word, but that you've had to go out and make this community. But I do think it's brilliant that you've done that. You're helping people that do feel difficult to fit in. So I think that's amazing. And unfortunately, I see it across a lot of areas. I play a lot of chess, and there is now an organization to help support female chess players, because again, it's the same sort of thing. Is for some reason this is another area in my life that's very male dominated, and females feel, or not just females, anyone that doesn't identify as male, as you say, feel intimidated. So I'd like to applaud what you've done. You've taken that step, regardless on how long you've been in the community. You took that first step, and from what I understand, it's just grown and it exploded since then. So tell us about what sort of things you do. How has it grown, and from that first time you setting it all up?
Thank you, by the way, Mike. Thank you for your kind words. I have to say, so it's not that I wasn't supported at the beginning. All my interactions were really nice, especially at the meetups. All people were nice. It's just I was like alone. I felt alone. But that has nothing to do with the people there. Like I can't say. I mean, I do have negative interaction now with people. Some people, because I'm in the public eye, so people feel more like they can take a stab at me. But at the beginning, everyone was really kind and nice. So I have to say that.
Okay.
So what do we do? Initially, we started as a support network, or we still are a support network. So I wanted to create it started selfishly. I wanted to find friends. So it was all about me trying to find friends. But now I'm trying to do the same for other people, because we know that, yes, it's important what you do and to know what you're doing, but it's just as important, if not more important, to know the right people, unfortunately. And I don't think it's just in this tech industry, but overall, who you know matters. And it can make or break you, and it can make your career. And it's not fair, because not everyone likes to be out there, not everyone likes networking. But it is like, if you know, it's not about if you know the right people. The more people you know, the more chances you have that you might find a great job, or, make new friends, something like that. So what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to do for our members. I want them to know that they are not alone. So first of all, for example, conferences, when you go to conferences, yes, they are mainly male around you, like male dominated. But there are women, they are. And I think there is more of us now, hopefully. I mean, I don't have data over too many years, so I'm really quite limited. But I think we are growing. But the thing is, now when you come to a conference, even if you don't know anyone there, you know that there will be a Laravel, there will be another one there, and you can just go and talk to them. And like the initial barrier, thinking, oh, I don't know them, like I'm not going to just come up to somebody I don't know and talk, that's gone. Because somebody actually, I wish I had the code in front of me, but one of our Laravel said that, so she came to Laracon US this year, and she said that was the first time her meeting Laravels, or people from the Laravel's community. She said it felt like an instant friendship. It was like the Taylor Swift kind of friendship, when you go to Taylor Swift concert and you feel like you all have something in common. When you are part of Laravel's and then you go to conference, that's how she felt, the instant friendship, that we all know we are experiencing similar things and we are there to support each other. And I think this is the most valuable to me, is that people now go to conference, and not just conferences in person, but even online, or if they're looking for mentors, they don't have to just shout into the void. Like if you go on Twitter or Stack Overflow or anywhere and you have a question, you're kind of at the mercy of people. Are they going to answer you? Are they going to be nice? Are they going to be helpful or not? So it's really helpful to have a smaller community where people will answer you and people will take the time to talk to you and get to know you, which isn't always the case online if you're just like using some public forum. And I think this helped me the most when I now have people I can just directly talk to. I found Mentor, I have a mentor, technical mentor, but she's also my friend. And now I'm trying to do the same thing for other people if they have questions, or if they are on a higher level and they would like to mentor other people. So I'm kind of, I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm this good old matchmaker because I know somebody and I know somebody else. I'm trying to get them together because I think that knowing them, each other, it would benefit them. So support network, and it's whatever you imagine it to be. Like I said, knowing people when you go to conferences, having access to people that know things, and not just technical things like life stuff. The other thing what we do is we often get a lot of discounts for courses or get free course licenses. So when somebody needs help, for example, in the past, a lady was trying to apply for a job. She didn't have enough, I think it was Alpine experience. So we had 1 month of Alpine, the courses for her to do because she couldn't afford it. So we did that. Things like that. So if somebody needs help, or speaking at conferences, a lot of people would like to speak. They might not know anyone who does speak in person, so they might not have direct access to so those tips that only people that actually have spoken have. So now they have Larabels, and they have in the Larabels community there are plenty of public speakers. So now they have people to ask. So yeah, it's just support whatever it is you need, technical, personal, life stuff. That's what we're trying to do. But all this the underlying reason, the purpose of Larabels is to make sure that, yes, there is a support network for our members, but also to let the world know that we exist. Because partly, I actually think there's quite a lot of women developers or developers that don't identify as a man. But how do you reach them? Not everyone is on Twitter, especially now. It's Twitter, it's Blue Sky, it's Mastodon. We are so fragmented. Some people are on LinkedIn, some only YouTube. I don't feel like there's a single way to reach everyone. And maybe that's why even the Laravel survey, the state of Laravel, or any survey really, is only limited to people that happen to know about it in the first place, or see the tweet or whatever social media post that it might be announced. But there are so many people that are not really online as much, or they do the work, but they are not part of the online community because it's just not their thing. So I think there's plenty of us. The issue is reaching the people that are not online or not in our circles. And I think we need to let the world know that we exist. We are here. We might not be as visible as men, but we are here. So, for example, conference organizers, there's no longer an excuse that, we don't know any female speakers. Well, for example, Larabels, we've got this directory online. We've got, I think, 85 people on the directory now that you can contact. So you can't say you don't know anyone anymore. So I'm kind of removing the excuse from people or companies when it's all white male lineup. Like, don't tell me that you don't know anyone. Like, yes, you might have to do a little bit more work to reach these people, but that doesn't mean we don't exist. So it's kind of, initially and primarily it's the support network for our members, but also reaching out to the community, knowing that we exist and we are trying to work, make the community better, help our members, and just make the world a better place. It's a small goal, just a humble goal.
Just change the world. I mean, that seems reasonable.
Just trying to change the world. Yeah.
And
well, hopefully with this, we'll try. Hopefully, this will get out to some more people, and you'll get some more members within your directory. How can people get in touch or join Larabellas?
So
Larabels. I keep calling it Larabellas.
I know.
I don't know why. I don't know where that's come from. It's Larabels. Sorry, yeah, Larabels.
Okay. One thing I need to I think we don't do a good job making it clear on the website is that it's not a paid membership. You don't have to you don't even have to fill in a form. So we do have a form on the website when you want to be on the directory. So there's a join us form, which I really think we need to rename to something else, because join us, it's like a join us the directory, not join us the community. So you are, if you're not a man in Laravel, you are Laravel basically. You don't have to do anything about it. Like I said, it's not paid membership. There are no forms to fill in if you don't want to be on the website, on the directory. You can join the Discord channel. So the Discord channel is the main kind of place where people chat, but we also have a newsletter. So what we started doing And it actually started at Laracon EU in Lisbon 3 years ago now. We take photo on stage at every conference. So every conference we go to, usually the second day in the morning, like before the first break, we ask all the Larabels, which means not the guys, sorry guys, to come on stage and take a photo. And this is how we see how we grow over the time. And in Lisbon, there were, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 of us. And now so I was at Denmark a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, at Laravel Live Denmark, and there were so many more people on stage. And you might say, in the US, US is massive. So in the US, you have so many more. But even the smaller conferences, like it was Laracon EU in Lisbon or Laravel Live Denmark, small conferences still get quite a lot of people. And I think it helps us, Larabels, to see that, yes, we are here for each other, but also it helps the community to see us on the stage, seeing that how many there are. So this is what we do. What else do we do? So to contact us, go on the website. There's a join us form if you want to be in directory. You don't have to be. Not everyone wants to be online, have their picture displayed. So just because you don't want to be in the directory doesn't mean you don't belong. Like the directory is just for people who want to have their profile online. You can just join the Discord channel and there, take it from there.
We've got a QR code straight to the website there and the actual website on the screen. I don't have a link for the Discord, but if you give it to us, we will stick that in the show notes. Sorry, my dog is barking in the background. Someone's just knocked on the door. No, it's my no. I think someone's just come home. Sorry about that. What was I going to say next? Yes, Discord. So give us the link. We'll put it in. I was at Laravel Live UK last year and was very impressed with how you filled the stage for your photo when you got everyone up on stage. It was amazing. Loads and loads of people, and there are some big names in the PHP and Laravel world that are all part of this. So it's great to see that.
I know. And I think the PHP, we do need to, so I went to PHP Day in Verona and people didn't know about us. And to me, it's like, how do you not know? Because I live in my little bubble that everyone surely must know. But then, and even within the Laravel world, not everyone knows. And then I go to PHP conference and even fewer people know about us. So it is really all about spreading the word, telling people that we are here. And for Larabels, there's really no downside for the members. Like I say, you don't pay, you don't have to do anything. You just, from my perspective, it's all just benefits. It's all just the good things, And the reason it's all benefits because we do have sponsors that help us cover the running cost. Actually, one thing that I should have mentioned, like a big thing that we do, is that we try to send 1 or 2 people to every major conference. So we do a giveaway, and part of the giveaway is the ticket to the conference, as well as covering the travel and accommodation expenses up to a point. And this way, what I'm trying to do is send people to conferences that wouldn't otherwise be able to come. Because, for example, the US, the ticket costs a lot of money, accommodation is a lot of money, the travel is even more money. Not everyone would be able to come. So what we do is, if we have a sponsor for that particular conference, we try to send at least 2 people. If it's just us Larabels, we do 1 person. And for example, to the Laracon US, we sent 2 people. One was living in the US, but one came all the way from New Zealand. So she won the ticket and she got on a plane in New Zealand all the way to the US. And that's the lady that said about the Taylor Swift kind of instant friendship. And like every conference you go to now these days, there will be at least 1 giveaway winner. So I think that's a big thing we do. And the only reason we can do that is thanks to our sponsors, because Larabels is a non-profit. We don't have a product. Because we don't ask for membership fees, nothing like that. So the only money we get in is from sponsors. And the way we then spend the money is by sending people to conferences, but also, like I said, the courses. Somebody needs a course. And we buy the courses or books or whatever it is. So this is what we do. But yeah, I think I should have said that because that's another thing I'm really proud of. And actually, I know somebody who told me that that's how they not got into development. They were a developer before, but that's how they really became part of the community, because they were part of a group that sent them to a conference, including the ticket, travel, accommodation. and it changed their life in a way. And I think if we can do that for other people, and as I said earlier, it's really about the people you know and how do you meet the people the best way at a conference. So if we can do that for people, okay, if we can send Larables to a conference that they wouldn't otherwise be able to go, and then they meet people and they maybe get a great job or meet friends or just have a good time, I think that's all. That's what makes it all worth it for me.
Yeah, and it is so important to be able to do that for people that wouldn't be able to do it for themselves. And that works in many different areas, but I've seen that from people who are just financially unable to. So no responsibilities of, particular groups of people, but just taking somebody to a conference can open their eye to the sheer brilliance of what actually happens. And I think it's interesting to see that in the past 5 years, we've started to see more and more people who aren't male taking lead positions. I mean, you've got Leah from Laravel. She's now one of the DevRel team. You've got the PHP Foundation. You've got members of PHP Fig. There's so many people who are not male taking lead positions. And to me, that is just as important that people are represented, because we have different ways of doing things, different opinions, and it does open that door to belonging. And like you said, I mean, I've never felt like I've walked into a room of people and gone, I don't belong here, because the vast majority of them are people like me. And there's different ways in which other groups where you feel like you're outside the big clique, but that's one of the things that is starting to change, that those barriers are being broken down over and over through different ways, not just through Larabels, but other things are beginning to break those boundaries of, actually, it doesn't matter who you are. Come and join us. Come and join us. The water's nice is the old adage. And it's absolutely true. This community on the whole does support everybody, no matter who you are, where you're from, what your financial status is. I mean, we've got people at the top with Lamborghinis driving around that own a framework, and then you've got people like me that don't own a car. You've got people with $1 million houses, and you've got people that live in the rundown slums of different areas, and none of that actually matters to who they are and the fact that they're contributing to a massive community. And it's amazing to see this happening. And it's almost like, why hasn't this happened before? What stopped us getting to here before? And
it's interesting.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, one of the criticism I got at the beginning was people telling me, why do I have to create a community for women? Why am I breaking up a perfectly fine Laravel community that people are saying I'm making it worse rather than better? And I think, in a way, it's like if you just keep going the way it was, like the majority of people are happy, but that the minority will not. If nothing changes, and just making the world better for the minority will make the majority on the whole better place. But interestingly, you mentioned Leah. So Leah, actually, she's a Laravel's giveaway winner. She won the ticket to Laracon US last year. And before that, she was a React developer, but she wasn't a Laravel developer. So when you think of, when you look at her story, she won the ticket through Laravel's, go to the conference, and a year later, she works at Laravel. She is giving talks all over the world. She's like the OG success story. So I've spoken to her. She was at Denmark, so I said we need to sit together and write a blog post or do an interview or something, because amazing, like her story in such a short time, in a year, really, from one conference to another. Not only she was brand new to Laravel development, Laravel world, and now she works at Laravel, and and that's what happens when you meet people, right? When you go to conferences and you meet people.
It's almost like if you meet people, they can help you do things. And
it's who knew?
It's who invented teamwork?
And then you can pay it forward. I think the great thing is that somebody does something for you, you want to and even if people don't do something, like, you should really want to help other people anyway, but especially if somebody does something nice to you, you want to pay it forward. And then that's how we spread the good wishes around the community. That's how we make it better, because you know that people are there to help you. They're like, often speakers, they're like, before you go on the stage, they're like, oh, what if people don't like what I say? What if they boo me off the stage? What if they, ask horrible questions? And I've been to a few conferences that has never been the case. If anything, people often give standing ovations. Especially if somebody speaks about something personal, that are vulnerable on stage. Aaron Francis comes to mind. He's really good at that. And people appreciate it. People want to see you being human. And I think this is how we know that our community is really good and really healthy, because nobody goes and laughs at you if you cry on stage or if you say something personal. No, people respect it and appreciate it, and they really applaud you for it. And I think that's how you can see that this community, Laravel community, it's a really good one, because we are overall, like, we really want everyone to succeed. We want us all to be good.
Yeah. And it shines through with everything I've ever seen published through Laravels and varying people who call out to it on the stage. It's incredible to see that something that was started because you didn't have any people to meet with is now literally
so sad.
I mean, I was trying to be nice. But you now have literally a world.
I have friends now. Yes, thank you.
I think it's a shame that you got that sort of response when you started this. Why are you breaking up a community? Because although it's slightly different, but I can almost like it to just user groups in your local area. You're just looking for like-minded people.
Yeah, somebody
that you can talk to.
Common with.
I mean, okay, you are worldwide with what you're doing, but you're still taking a subset of the community and building a mini community within the community. And I think that's human nature. If you look at the world, we're all one community, but we're all in subsets, and then more subsets again. So I think it's a shame you had that sort of response, and almost feel like these people didn't really think about it in the right way. I'll say again, I applaud what you've done. I think it's brilliant what you do. And yeah, if there's anything else you want to sort of bring to the forefront or say anything about Laravels before we kind of move on to a slightly different subject.
The other thing that we're going to be started, or we are about to start, is our podcast. So we're going to have Laravels podcast, and the aim of that is to share the stories. So it's all about getting to know each other. And again, I think the more you know about people, the more you can relate to them. They become real in your eyes, because it's easy to be. So for the people that are mean on the internet, I think they are mean because they don't see the person on the other side. They just sit at their computer. I hardly think that they would say these mean things to person's face. No. Maybe some, yeah, but most of them, I don't think they would. And I think if you get to know us better, and like where we come from and what are our stories. Yeah. So this is what the Laravels podcast is going to be about. It's not going to be technical, because we've got plenty of Laravel and PHP technical podcasts. I think this, the way I want to take it is more about the stories, who we are, and just to show that our community is diverse and there is a space for everyone, and everyone should become a Laravel developer, basically, and PHP. And one thing, well, PHP/Laravel. And yes, as I mentioned, sponsoring. So, like, as I said, we are a non-profit. We don't have any income other than sponsors. So we don't have any products, anything to sell. And yeah, we need our sponsors, because it's thanks to these sponsors that we can do the things that we do. And not only the basic running costs of the community, like the taxes, because we are legally registered company in the UK, so we have to pay taxes. And so not only these running admin costs, but also, as I said, sending people to conferences, being there for them. Everything needs money these days, unfortunately. So if anyone would like to sponsor us, please do so. We have all different ways, hopefully as many ways possible, for you to sponsor us. You can do it via GitHub sponsors. We've got a Patreon set up. There can be a direct bank to bank transfer if you want to do it as a lump sum or monthly, or there's so many different ways. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for companies and individuals. And we do have sponsors, and I'm really grateful for them. So I wanted to, if you already support us, thank you so much, because we wouldn't be able to be here 5 years later if it wasn't for the support, financial and otherwise. So it's not, yes, money is important, but also people speaking on our behalf, people, talking about us and supporting us. And if there are those occasional mean people, they quickly get kind of sent away, like, we're not going to have that talk in our community. So while Larables is for people who do not identify as men, we do need men. We need everyone to be our allies, because we're trying to make the whole community better. And for that, we need the whole community.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your podcast or listening to your podcast.
Yeah. Thank you.
That'll be really interesting to hear some of the stories. And it's the kind of thing that we're kind of sharing a little bit here as well. Like we asked at the beginning of this show, how you got into PHP, because I think there are so many stories out there that are inspirational to people. And that's kind of one of the goals of this show that we're trying to do. We're trying to highlight what's good in our world and our community, whether it's technical or whether it's a community-based like what you're doing, to try and encourage more people to come to PHP. So whether they've looked at PHP in the past, back in the dark days, as some people refer it to, where it needed a little bit of help, but then so trying to bring them back and say that there's been a big change in our world, or just encouraging people that have never looked at PHP. So we're trying to highlight as much as possible, community and technical. So it's been great to have you on to sort of highlight what you're doing in the community, and your little subset of our community, and the support that you give to those people is amazing and really good.
You.
And I hope it just keeps growing, and I hope that you can attract new people, as well as getting people that are already in PHP more aware of what you're doing. So I think that's great.
Thank you.
Talking a little bit about sort of the new stuff that's in PHP, one of the little questions, and I don't know if we prepped you for this one, so I do apologise for putting you on this
You
spot.
didn't receive any help. Okay, tell me.
Just what sort of thing excites you about developing within? I mean, you specialize in Laravel. What sort of things in the PHP world excites you at the moment that you see coming, or is already just arrived in our world?
Oh no! Are you going to ask me to? Oh goodness! I should have read like the RFCs and stuff, or all the new things that came out. I can't tell you from the top of the head. Okay. What I am excited about is that we keep working, like pushing forward and improving. So as you said, there are people who maybe saw PHP 10 years ago, like it was PHP 5.4 something, and that's where their mindset stayed. Like this is what they know of PHP. And there have been a few people I've spoken to over the years, and they also, PHP is on the way out. It's like, there's no point even trying to learn it. Just go to, Python, JavaScript, anything else, just not PHP. And I think I love it that we keep proving them wrong. Like, not only we are still here maintaining the old site, the other thing is, like, so much of the internet runs on PHP. And yeah, people can say things about the old PHP, but it still works. There are still websites that do run on the old PHP, for better or for worse, but it works. And we didn't stop there. It's not that we just like accepted this is the role of PHP. We keep making it better and working, pushing forward. And I think this is amazing, because now with what PHP 8.5 is coming up, or has it come out?
8.5 is November.
When is it coming out? November, yeah.
Yeah, November.
Like, and this is like when it comes to speed and performance and everything, like we are up there with all the other languages, and we just need to let people know, like, that forget the PHP of the old, 5.x. What we have right now is so much better. And then the frameworks on top of it. Like, we've got so much support. So we've got so many frameworks within the PHP community. We've got WordPress that's like an entity on its own. And it's just, we keep pushing forward, and I think that's amazing. that we didn't just got stuck, because it could have very easily happened that there are languages, all languages, that just never kept up with the developments, or and PHP didn't, and PHP keeps growing, and it keeps getting better and better. And sometimes I feel like shaking the people, saying like, don't forget what you thought you knew, like we are so much better now.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, we have a release every year, November every year, so there's always new things, and then you get new innovations. I mean, we don't even have to just write PHP for the web anymore.
Yeah, I know. How crazy is that?
We could pretty run PHP on almost anything now, and that includes mobile phones. If you don't not aware yet, there is the ability to. I mean, it's for Laravel, so we can run Laravel on a mobile phone in an app.
How crazy is that?
Exactly. I mean, that wasn't even a thing a year ago.
No,
it was an idea in someone's head.
Yeah.
And someone, I think, I can't remember the full story, and Chris will probably throw in names because I'm not very good at remembering everyone's names. But there was someone that said something about a year ago at a conference about being able to run PHP on the mobile phone in an app, and then someone else ran away with it and just went a year later, 12 months later, look at where we are now. I mean, that's
that first tweet from Simon. I will never forget seeing that.
Yeah.
And it was removing what I think was an expletive. Oh my gosh, we've done it. And it showed Laravel starting up on a phone. And that was the first step that made it possible. And it had been done with desktop by wrapping it in Electron, but this was different. This was taking literally the PHP binary and building it for Android and iOS. And it's incredible what's been done with that. And it opens the door to something that I really want to see, which is a Laravel powered fridge.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be fun.
Is that a side project for you and me, Chris? Now?
Yeah. I think we should make the first Laravel powered fridge, and
so don't worry about
some reason.
Don't worry
so
about.
You've heard it here first, okay? In a year's time, when the fridge comes out, it was Chris who said it. Yeah.
So you shouldn't worry about AI taking over or robots taking over. It's PHP taking over. Taking over.
I like it much more. I like that much more than AI.
Yeah. So,
but isn't it crazy? Like, it just people show that you don't just get stuck on doing things you know how to do. You just keep trying and think of new things. And that's the other thing. I mean, I don't really have experience with other communities, but I appreciate about this community that every conference you go to, or even online, anything, you come out or you come away with all these ideas, and you can't wait to sit down and get started. Like, really, everyone's just want to. Okay, I don't want to say ship it, but like everyone wants to build and try and create. And I like there's this spirit, like we still want to keep trying to do things better in a new way. We haven't kind of settled down into our old ways and just doing our daily job until we retire. I'm sure there are people like that, but overall, I think the PHP and Laravel community, they just keep trying to innovate, make things better.
Yeah.
And you're hearing that. You're hearing that over and over from the top, aren't you? You're hearing Laravel, we must ship. You're hearing Aaron saying things like, you can just do things. And you're hearing Simon saying, we did. And
it's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things that shows to me that PHP is just moving forward. Not just the fact that PHP's got a new release every year, but Laravel has a release every week, but a major release every year. But we're not just trying to improve the language. It's not just about that. It's the expansion of what we can do with the language. And now this year has been a major breakthrough for us. So it's not dead.
It's exciting.
It's so exciting.
It's definitely not dead. Yeah. It's like we should have do you have a merge like say PHP is not dead?
Well, this is one of the things that we're trying to do here, me and Chris, is that it kind of stemmed from a talk at PHP UK earlier this year that I went to, and Niels from Packagist was posed a question about how to bring in new people into PHP. And one of the first things he said is stop saying that PHP isn't dead. So if you entitle a video saying PHP isn't dead, I did XYZ, the first things people are going to see that have got a bad taste of PHP in their mouth is going to see PHP dead.
It's like they ignore the not.
They're not going to see the not. They're
Yeah.
not going to see the cool thing that person's just done in that video.
Yeah.
And that's why one of the reasons why we landed on the name of PHP Live and Kicking for this show. Because we want to say it's alive, it's not dead, but we don't want to use the negative words. So
that is a very good idea. Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. Is we're not trying to say PHP isn't dead. We're trying to say PHP is alive and taking over the world.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I will just throw back up there it is, the QR code to go and check out your website. And then I've also got the little link here that will cover my face so people don't have to look at me anymore, just to go over to help support the Laravel's.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us today on the show, Zuzana, and taking your time.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. It was really good talking to you.
Yeah, it's been fun, and we'll probably think we're going to wrap up there for this one. Yeah. I'm not going to say see you in 2 weeks or see you in a fortnight like I have been saying on some of the other shows, because we have got a bit of a backlog and they might be coming out a bit more regular than every 2 weeks, but we'll see. We'll see you next time.